Well, I'm starting this project, and all I have is a primitive star, and I found the image off the internet, and then the image of the crow, and I sized them the way I wanted them and moved them around. And you can do this if you have a wood star. I mean, I think you can get things like this at Hobby Lobby and stuff, and it's just going to be painted on. So you could just trace it, your crow. If you found a crow, you put it on the wood star and just use some carbon paper and trace it on. But I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to go ahead and make a stencil. So I've put the star on there and grouped the crow and the stars, the little stars, around the way I want them. And now I'm going to use some stencil film to cut it out so it'll be permanent if I want to make another one, to where I can just stencil my crow on the star. But I'll go over and I'll send it to my Cameo. I'll put my stencil film on my mat and send it to the Cameo and let it cut it. And now I've had a few questions on the stenciling, the stencil film, and I'll show you what I have. In fact, I've got this sheet that I'm fixing to use and one more. I'm going to have to order some more. I do have some 12 by 24 for larger projects, but this is a smaller one, so I'm using a 12 by 12 sheet. And I'll take you down over here by my work area, and I'll show you what I use. Alright, here is my stencil film. As you can see, it's .007 clear craft plastic, and it was 25 sheets. And I did get it off of Amazon, and there's a stencil I made, and I just keep it in there. And then you can see there's some little stencils that I used to put inside the little clear Christmas bulbs. I would do vinyl on them, like a manger scene or whatever, and put those in the little clear Christmas bulbs. And that one, I believe, is one I used last year on a Christmas tree. The one with the lettering. Yeah. Okay. But I've got that on my, boy, the glare, the mat. I do have the clear on the mat. And now I'm going to put it in the Cameo and let it cut the stencil out. Well, I wanted to let you know that when you use your stencil film, if you're trying to do that, it is going to take a lot of passes. And what I do here is I set it to stencil film. Let's see, stencil material right there. And it's set on a cut of 3 and a force of 33. And then the passes 1. I will do 4 passes and put my blade up to 5, and 33 the force. That's as high as you can go. And then before I unload my mat, I make sure they're cut good. I mean, they're going to come out. The pieces like the crow and the stars are going to remove easily. If not, I'll come back over here to my software and I'll have it cut some more. But I wanted to let you know, because I know there are some of you interested in the stencil film, so I wanted to add this in the video. Well, it has done 4 passes, but before I hit unload, I want to make sure it's cut, because if I have to send it back through, once you unload it, your cut lines are not going to match. So I'm going to check it just to make sure. Yes, it is cut. So I will unload that. It has cut through. That was 4 passes. And it really didn't take that long. I'm going to make sure they all cut. Well, it wouldn't do me any good. I couldn't put it back in, but. And the stencil film, what's left of it, I'll cut it up in smaller pieces. Like, I'll cut, around that. So in case I have some small stencils I want to make, I won't be having to use a whole sheet to do it. So I will save part of that. And I need to make sure my crow cut out. Let's see here. This is there's my little star and my feet, which I will have to fill in between the feet because this little piece came out. That's okay, because it wasn't made for being a stencil. There's workarounds. And they all cut out just fine. So my stencil's ready to go. Now I'm going to take this out and I'm going to trace it onto some wood. And I'll cut my star out. I'm not going to cut the crow out because I'm just going to paint that on or stencil that on. And I'll use this star for a pattern. And cut it out and then come back in and paint it up. This is going to be an easy project. Once you cut out your star, it's just painting and embellishing. I wanted to add in, I'll probably also keep, well, I'm not probably, I will. I'll keep this little piece here because I can lay it down and stencil over it and have a reverse stencil. Well, I just got me a piece of scrap wood here and traced my star on there with a Sharpie, and now I'll put it on. I'll take it to the scroll saw and cut it out, and this one will be really easy because I can come in with my saw like this, and if I don't want to go around the edge, I can just come back up this way. Anyways, this will be a simple, easy pattern to start with. If you're wanting to start out with a scroll saw to do, you could just come in at your angles and go start here and go up, start down here and go up, come in this way instead of trying to make the turns. This would be an easy project. So now I'm going to cut this out on my scroll saw. Now I'm just going to give this star a coat of black paint. All over it, the whole thing. Now I'm just going to put some, probably 2 coats of white here on the top of the star. This is going to be a quick, easy project. And it's a good project to start out if you're just learning to use a scroll saw. I'm going to go on and give this a coat of paint, let it dry, and put a second coat on there. And take it out and distress it, and I'll be back. Well, I took it out. I've got it finished painted white, and I took it out and distressed the edges. Now I'm using my stencil that I cut out with the Cameo, and I have it taped down so it doesn't move. And I don't want it to bleed, so I'm just going to very lightly go up and down on this. And then I might distress it a little more. I'm not just going to want white and black, so I'll probably put some dark wax on it. And then some holes probably in here, and put some wire on it and kind of decorate it up. It's just a simple, easy little project. We'll see what it looks like when I get finished with it. Okay, I think that's ready to come up. Let's see what it looks like. If I can get the tape, well, get this one. All right, I'm going to let that dry and maybe distress it a little bit, and I'm going to use some dark wax on it and finish it up. It shouldn't be too much longer and it'll be finished. All right, I did forget that right between his legs, that piece when I cut the stencil, it came out. So I am going to put that there now. Okay, that's good. That is fine. Finished with that. Well, guys, I thought I was recording, and I wasn't. So, what I did is put a little clear wax on it, the DIY clear wax, and then went over it with the Top Coat Brown Jolie, and just made it look old. It was better than the stark bright white. I like the way that turned out. All right, now I'm going to get my drill and drill some little holes in it. Can't go too close to the side, so it's going to have to be probably right in there and right in here. And then embellish it just a bit. It won't take a lot. I've put the, drilled the holes and put the wires in. And one wire I wrapped around the wire here and kind of twirled it right there. This one, I just brought it up and put a little twirl right there. And then I've cut some homespun material and some coffee dyed cheesecloth on there. And now I have Sweet Annie, so you're going to be seeing me use it. I did get some pip berries out, and I just didn't like the way they looked. So I'm going to work with some of this. Okay, there's a piece. I don't even know if I'll use it. Trying to see where I would put it. Not sure. Or maybe just some kind hanging down right there like that. Simple. Okay. I'm going to fiddle with it a little bit and see what I come up with, and I'll show you the finished product. Well, here's how the little star turned out, and I kept it relatively simple. I just put the homespun fabric on there, some cheesecloth, Sweet Annie, and then some pip berries. And of course the wire hanger. And I think it turned out real cute, and it was just a simple, cute little project. So, on to the next one. Well, for this project, I'm going to cut down 4 of these pieces of wood. They're about, oh, I don't know. It was just some wood, scrap wood that my husband, when he builds stuff and he has scraps, he brings it home to me. And this one is about 1.5 inches wide. And I want to cut 4 of them. So to make it a little easier and not have to measure each one of them, I don't know if you can see. Let me show you what I've done with my miter saw. You wouldn't have to use one of these. You can just use a jigsaw and cut them off, but where am I at with mine? Here I am. Okay, see this little thing here? I've brought this arm out, and now I'll just put each piece of wood back into that, and then I can cut it, and they'll all be the same size, and I won't have to keep remeasuring 20 inches. But these boards will be 20 inches long. Set you back down here. Gotta see if I'm in frame. Okay, there. Sorry for the shaking around. Maybe I ought to put you at a different angle, because I don't want to be messing with the saw when I can't see what I'm doing. Right there, that'll get it. So I have it backed up against this back here. I will start my... I already have one cut, so I just need 3. This will be my 4th piece. I've pretty much used up that piece of scrap of wood. Where's my other piece? Let's see. Yeah, they are fine. Okay, now I'll need to... because I'm going to put them together like this. Am I in frame? Let me pull you down just a little bit. Should have had it down there to start with. Okay, I'm going to put them like that, but I am going to, I'll get something to use for a spacer. Oh, like that. Maybe not that much, but that'll show you how I'm going to space them. And I need to get me some boards, probably 2 board, maybe 3, just thin piece of board to put across here. But before I do that, I'm going to take them in and either paint them or stain them or something. I'm not going to put it together and then do it. So I'm going to take care of that before I put it together. But I want to explain to you how I put it together. And I'll just get a piece of, well, here's a piece of thin wood. Piece of thin wood. It's kind of like a fence. And put a brace here and then one here. And I'll show you what, once I get all that finished, I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. All right, I decided before I take these in, I wanted to do kind of a picket fence look. So I put it on a 45-degree angle and just kind of marked where I wanted the center to be. Yeah, that's going to work. So I'm going to cut that. Just going to turn it over. I don't care if they're perfect because I'm going to leave the bottom ones flat. I'm just going to do the top of the mind frame. Nope. I'm just going to do the tops. So I'll do each one of them that way. And just have the tops of them kind of like a little picket fence. Okay, I have them in here, the slats, and I was going to use my this mixture with that I done up with the vinegar and steel wool, but I took a little piece and tried it, and I think it almost looks burnt. I don't know whether this really got strong or what. I may have to dilute it down with some vinegar, but that's just way too dark for me. So then I just took some plain Waverly Antiquing wax, and it's that color. I didn't care for that. And then I have some here that Waverly Antiquing wax with a little black in it, and I think I like that better. I think I'm going to go ahead and go over this one with that and do all of it with the black it's kind of watered down Waverly Antiquing wax with just a little bit of black in it. And I'm liking that color on this wood better. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all of them with that. All over. Then I'm going to have to take them out and space them with a slat in here, you know, to get the correct spacing, and then cut my little small boards that are going to attach them together on the back side. Okay, I'm in the garage and I'm ready to put it together. I have the little spacers in here to make sure it's spaced evenly, and there's the braces on each one. I'll add a little wood glue to it, and I'll use my brad nailer to put it together. All right, I got this nailed together, as you can see, and now I need a little shelf going across here. So I found an old piece of board. You can see it's old, and I'm just gonna get the length of it and mark it where I want it, and then I'm going to use my miter saw just to slice it off. All right, I have my piece of wood cut off. Now I'm going to take that in and stain it the same color as the fence part, and then I'll bring it back out here and attach it to the board. Okay, I'm just going to leave this sitting a little while. I do have it glued down to the board. I'd use some glue, but if I try to turn it over, it'll slip and slide on me. I do want to put some nails in there, but I'm going to let it set up with the glue first, and then I'll turn it over and put some brad nails in it. Okay, I started a project, and this is what happens. My mind starts going elsewhere. I was going to take, I've got this ready. I'm trying to get it, I'll stand it up. Okay, that's ready. Then I was going to take the pan that I got from Sheila. I'm going to rust it up or do something with it, paint it or something. And to start with, I was just going to cut a little piece of cardboard to make a candle holder, which would be really, really simple. You know, just a strip about that wide, run it around and hot glue it onto the candle, and it would, and then, or actually hot glue it on the pan. I don't know, yeah, on the pan, and then I could stick my candle into it. No, I gotta try to do something else. I started thinking about that wire that I used on my last video. Let's see, okay, this was it. Yeah, this was it. I cut the top off from it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link below where I made the spring candle holder. But anyways, with wire, I thought, well, this one was one of the extra ones I done with that video, and I just cut the tip off because I didn't need. Anyways, I had a piece that come up and looped around to where I could hang this off something. This one doesn't need to hang, so I cut the tip off up here. I thought, well, I could glue that right in there like that for a candle holder. And then I got to thinking of the bed springs, but they was too big. So I made one that's kind of like a bed spring. That's why I can't do anything very fast, because I go all different directions. So I've made that one that kind of looks like a bed spring. I should use heavier wire, but it's easier to use with this wire. Once it gets finished, you'll not know it's not the heavy wire. I think that's cute. So, but I will rust this up or paint it black or something. I won't leave it plain like I did last time. And figure out a way to put that, attach that down in there, color up my candle, rust it or paint it or something. And the same with the little bread pan. Then I might put a hook, well, maybe a couple hooks down here, or maybe a doorknob, not a knob, door handle. I don't know. I'm still going on it, trying to figure out what I'm doing. This may be a long video for just this project. I don't know, because it's taken me a while because my brain's going in other places. All right, I'm going to sit back and probably start working on the pan. I'm going to sit back and figure out what color or what I'm going to do with it. If I'm going to try to rust it, just paint it black. I don't know. I hope I come up with something that looks good. All right, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, this is what I think I'm going to do. I printed out this image that I had that I bought off Etsy. I'll leave the link down below. And I'm going to use the Dixie Belle Patina Rust Spray, paint and spray. And then on the image in the background, I don't think I'll permanently put that on in case I want to put something else back there, say for Christmas or something, you know. So I'll just use some little sticky glue dots and tack it on with that. That way I can remove it and put another image back there. Might be a little hard with the candle glued down. I don't know. But anyways, that's my thoughts. So I'm going to get out my Dixie Belle Patina spray or paint and paint this up, let it dry, and then I'll paint it again, and then I'll spray it. But I'll have to do the inside and then do the outside. So each time you have to leave it 2 hours. So that's 4 hours of drying. But I'll come back as I go and show you what I'm doing. All right, I gave it one coat, which didn't cover very well, but maybe the second coat will do better. I could do it all at one time because I realized you can see how that's doing that, but you know what? That's okay. Because I'll give it a second coat, and what doesn't cover those areas should rust. But I only had to do the sides and really the insides of it. I didn't even really have to do that right in there. I didn't have to do the back, so I've got it leaned up against a block here. And I'll let that dry for 2 hours. And then I'll come back and put another coat on it and spray it immediately after I put that coat on it. It's been 2 hours, so I'm going to give it another coat and then spray the patina spray on it. Probably ought to do the insides first. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back on as I spray it. Now I'm going to spray it. And I wished I'd put my turntable over here. I need to get my turntable real fast where that dries. Okay, now for the spray. It's running. I think I got it all coated. I don't want to give it so much it runs. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and see how that turns out. But I need to move it because I need to spray my springs. Put this, it's on that, so. Kitty cat, please don't hit that. Now, I'll spray my springs, or I've got to paint them first. I am making a mess. That is not going to stand up, so it's going to do the same thing. Okay. All right, we'll see how they turn out. And as soon as it dries, I can see it rusting already. I really can. I'll be back when they're dried and show you how it turned out. Well, while my pan's drying with the rust on it, I'm putting, I put a coat of the gesso on there to give it some tooth. So my coffee and Mod Podge mixture will stick good. So I've started on it already. I've got that side. I'm just going to do this side now. Make sure I go up in there. I did put a little bit of the gesso on the candle part, the wick part, or what do you call it, the bulb part. This is just Mod Podge and instant coffee mixed together. Okay, I'm going to put some on the bulb. You can see where I didn't get the gesso because well, I don't think you can see it in camera, but it's kind of pooling. All right. Now, I'm going to set it in this little cup here to dry and let it be drying, and then I should be ready to start putting it together when the pan is finished drying well. Here's the shelf and the red pan all finished, and I did take the shelf out and distress the wood some. And let me show you how the rest on the Technique turned out on the bread pan. And then the picture behind it that I printed out, it fits so well that I just laid it back in there. Now if I want to change it out, maybe Christmas is coming up, put some kind of scenery back there for Christmas, I can. And then on the candle, I decided it needed some wax strips, so I put some on it and gave it a second coat of the Mod Podge and instant coffee. I really like how the second coat turned out on the color. And of course I used the spring that I made out of wire and put some moss down in it. around so I had to kind of glue the holder down, so I wanted something to kind of cover that. I could embellish it a little more, but for right now, that's the way it's going to be. And if I decide I don't want this up here, I could take that off and, let's see, do I have something else? Yeah, let me try this here. This might look cute on there. Yeah. Oh, that does look cute. That little lamp looks cute on it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. So until the next one, we'll see you later.